Hey there, my name is LexC and thank you so much for joining me for this book review. I haven't done one of these in over 8 months. I am so sorry, but this is the book review for Tough as a Mother by Jenn, Hildreth, and Aimee Leone. If you are interested in hearing about the review for this book, how I liked it, and if it's something that you might want to read for yourself, then make sure you stay tuned.
Trust and right, when the wrong is right away. Ain't no fuss, we fight away. I know, I promise I ain't letting go. I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby.
Before I get into the review of this book, I need to tell you a little bit of backstory. I actually got an email from Alana or Alana Cohen. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name, but she is the publicist for this book, and we had an email exchange back in January, February, March of 2025. So just last year, March of 2025. And, you know, they were bringing awareness to the book. And I guess they must have found my LexC Quotes channel where it's all about the books that I'm reading. And she asked me, hey, would you like to read and review the book? And I said, yes. And they sent me a copy, which I was so surprised. Slick thought it was a scam at first, but then I actually got this in the mail and I was pleasantly surprised. Like, it's really nice to get books and be able to, you know, get things that's like, it's real basically is what I'm saying. So I actually got this book in about April of 2025 and I finished reading it about June or July. And actually, did I put it in here? I did. So I finished this book on June 20th of 2025. And y'all know, or if you're new here, then here it is. I'm telling you that I like to mark my books for when I finish them. I do my name and I do my social media. And if I decide to put it in one of those free little library boxes, then I think it's a cute idea that when we finish reading the books, we sign and we date them. And then each person who gets it after that can kind of see the journey of hands that it's passed through. It's a cute little tradition that I like to do for myself. But yeah, so June 20th is when I actually finished reading this book. However, I procrastinated on doing the book review because I started a new job around that time. And I started working full time at that job in July. So I think me getting adjusted to my new schedule, it unfortunately caused me to push the book review to the wayside. And that's why we are here in January of 2026, finally doing this book review, but it is getting done. So I apologize to Miss Alana Cohen. I apologize to Jenn, Hildreth, and Aimee Leone. I'm so sorry it took so long, but at least we are getting it done, right? So that's the backstory on how I was alerted to this book and how it came to be in my hands. Now, let me tell you about some of the basics. The title is Tough as a Mother, and the subtitle for this book is Women in Sports, Working Moms, and the Shared Traits that Empower Us All. This book was copyrighted in 2025. So as of the recording of this video, it came out just last year. There are 301 pages. It includes a foreword, it includes acknowledgement, and the structure of this book, it comes in 9 parts. So there's the foreword, the introduction, the 9 parts, and then there's the farewell, acknowledgement, and sources. Each part of the book is addressing a different theme. So there's adaptability, Moxie, sacrifice, resilience, passion, vulnerability, focus, humility, and support. Most of these, I found a section that really resonated with me, and I will be sharing that with you shortly. But that is the structure of the book. And under each part of the book, there are 3 to 4 stories from different women who are sharing their perspectives or sharing times when they've had to display some of the traits that I just read off from these different parts. The purpose of this book is to essentially let mothers know that they are not alone in the struggles that they go through. Working women, women who specifically have been in sports, but also just working women and women who are just new moms, to let women know that motherhood is hard and there are a lot of challenges, but look how we overcame these challenges, or look how we dealt with it, look how we struggled with it. However you're dealing with it, you're not alone. There is a mother out there who shares the same experience as you. I am not a mother. I do not have any children, not yet anyway. God willing, I will someday bring kids into this world. But the reason why this book appeals to me, even though I'm not a mother, is because I very much resonate with a lot of the things that are said in this book. And just as a woman, the kind of struggles that we have to deal with, right? I am in the music industry and there are so many parallels, especially in one of the first sections I'm going to read for you, where as a woman, music is a male dominated industry. Sports is a male dominated industry. So not only are we dealing with that aspect of things, but throw being a woman on top of that, and we're just not respected as much, or we have to prove more because we do have something like motherhood that takes us out of the game, or it can shift our career paths. And, you know, people want to treat us differently because they aren't sure or don't believe that we can handle the same job and the same tasks that they can. But we actually have to show up so much better and so much stronger. And actually, Black people can really relate to this because we got to show up twice as hard to get half as much as what other people get. And just being a woman in general, without adding being Black to the mix, just being a woman can be very hard in certain spaces. Music and sports, I imagine it's not that much different for the way that men treat women in these spaces. So that's why I resonate to this. The struggles that they're talking about without the added layer of motherhood, but it can prepare me mentally for what I might have to deal with for when I do bring a child into the world. So I'm appreciative of that. Even though I'm not a mother yet, I am the type of person who I like to study different perspectives. I may not personally be going through it, but I think it does make me wise to hear what other people go through and understand where their frame of mind was. And then when I might be in that situation in the future, I have a little bit of experience to pull from, not my own, but experiences that people have so graciously shared. And that's the entire purpose of this book, and that's the personal appeal that it has to me. Now let's get into some of my favorite parts, some of the parts that resonated with me the most. I'm going to break this down by each section. I want to start off by reading a portion of the foreword by Julie Foudy, and it says, "If I can offer one bit of advice, find your teammates. Tell them they are stuck with you for life. Help each other, support each other, show them grace and love when needed. Pick them up when needed. Kick them in the booty as needed, as my friend did by telling me to calm down and that Izzy will not forever associate her mom with Southwest Airlines. Most importantly, share the struggle so that we know we are not alone. As history has shown with women organizing and gathering throughout the centuries, that is when we are at our most powerful and most effective. It takes a village, party people. Lean into your dope village. Mamas, like the one Jenn and Aimee, are building for you here. That's the real gift of motherhood." And this resonates with me because I say the same thing in music. We need to find our community. They are using the reference of a team because all the women in this book are associated with sports in some way, but it's the same thing for music as well. Find your team. These are the people who are going to get you through some of the tough moments, but these are also the people that you can celebrate your high moments with. So I really love that, and I really resonated with that. Next up, I'm going to read from the adaptability section. This is coming from Christie Pearce Rampone. I think she's Italian. It could be Rampone, so sorry if I say your name wrong, but she is a U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer. This is coming from page 18. Could I really do both? Was it actually possible? I realized that I had to shift my focus to myself, my nutrition, my health, my well-being. It can't just be go, go, go all the time. You've got to take that deep breath and reevaluate. From that point on, once I started taking better care of myself, things started to click. I suffer with this so badly because I truly believe that I can do any and everything all the time. And if I could do it all at once, I would. However, we do need those moments in our life when we take a moment to pause, we take a deep breath, and we think about what just happened. Did I like it? Did I not like it? Do more of it, do less of it. Adjust, and then you move. That's all adaptability is, right? We are adapting to what's happening. But if we never take a moment to reflect and reevaluate what's going on around us or what's going on within us, then we're not doing much of a service to ourselves. And we're actually being counterproductive because nothing's getting done if we don't take care of our own well-being first and foremost. So this one really sticks out to me as someone who can be a workaholic and someone who Not that I'm afraid of silence, but I never allow myself to have downtime because it feels lazy. But reevaluating and taking a pause is not laziness, it's necessary. And you don't know where you're going to go or how you're going to develop if you're not taking a look at, are the current things working or are they not working? And that's what adaptability is all about. How are you going to react? How are you going to respond? How are you going to change to get the best results possible? This next one is from the section on Moxie, and this is from Pamela McGee. She is a women's basketball Hall of Famer. This is page 53. You have to put some time in for yourself before you give out, or we become emotionally, spiritually, and physically depleted. Again, that also goes hand in hand with that adaptability. Part of adaptability is being able to see yourself within a group, but to see yourself for how you stand alone. When you are good individually, when you have essentially made sure that your cup is full, then you can give from the overflow that comes from that. But if there's nothing in your cup, you have nothing to give. Nothing for yourself and nothing to others. So make sure that you're right, make sure that you're centered, and then you can show up better for your community. I really love that. Next is the section called Sacrifice. And this excerpt is from Danette Leighton. She is a CEO of Women's Sports Foundation, or WSF. This is from page 85 and going into page 86. And it reads, be real, the fact that it's not simple. It may take a different way. Be honest and transparent about the journey, and don't feel guilty about whatever choice you make. Stop putting any negative connotation on any of those scenarios. All of them are fine, and all of them are going to require different types of support. But be less hard on yourself. Open yourself up and try to be more vulnerable. When I think about what Miss Danette is saying and the fact that this is in the sacrifice section of the book, what I am choosing to see in this is you essentially have to give to get. So in the previous sections, we got to make sure that we're good first. But once we make sure we're good, you kind of have to take note, take inventory of what can I give? What is something going to require of me? Do I have enough of what it takes that this is going to require? Can I actually handle that? And then you have to understand that no choice is a wrong choice. It's just going to require a different thing from you, or different things, or different time, different energy, different approach. So when I read this in the context of making a sacrifice, it's being willing to now give of yourself and maybe move some things around, or maybe make space. You maybe have to remove some things in order to make space to be able to do the thing that will make your decision right. It will make your decision work, but you have to sacrifice something. That's what I get from this. This next one is from the resilience section, and it is from Alana Jane Nichols. She is a 5-time Paralympian and 3-time Paralympic gold medalist. I actually have a lot that I want to read from her, so let's get into that. There are only so many things you can control leading up to a competition or a performance, and then you trust in the process of how you've prepared and what you've done. I love that, because as a singer, it takes preparation before we actually ever hit the stage. At some point, you can only practice so much. Like, there are certain songs, like even with starting this job with the corporate band that I sing with, right? Where I had to study and I had to practice. But there were just certain parts of certain songs that just were not clicking for me. And at a certain point, I had to stop beating myself up about not getting it right and just kind of trust that, hey, when the moment comes, you've practiced enough, you've done enough, it's going to come to you. It's going to happen naturally. And if it doesn't, guess what? You can work on it after that. It's not the end of the world, but there's only so many things you can control leading up. I might practice something that is really difficult for me, and I might finally nail it at home, right? And then we get to the show and my ears go out, or we go to the show and the left side of the stage goes out, or the power goes out, or we don't even play the song that I was so worried about. So I can only I can only prepare so much, but I truly cannot control what actually happens in the moment. I can only trust that I did enough and that is going to be enough for the performance. That resonates with me. And then the other part, that was from page 105, by the way. This next one is on page 107. It's a little paragraph. So, I really encourage new moms to give themselves grace. I remember when I first made the Paralympic basketball team and I was so raw. I was literally just pushing around the court like a chicken with my head cut off. I did not know what I was doing. And I remember one of my mentors at the time, and she'd say, "Hey, you're the shit, Al. You're the shit. You've got this." And I'd say, okay, I believe you, kind of. I needed to hear that in those moments. And new moms need to hear that too. I eventually believed it, but you need to surround yourself with a community of people. You need to be on a team. You need to have those people in your life that see you're doing something that's really hard so they can remind you of how badass you are. Author's note. Yes, this is exactly what we're doing right now. Reminding all of you working moms reading this book, you are the shit. You are a badass. You've got this. And this resonates with me too, because for such a long time, what happened with me in music, right? There are so many BS things that have to be dealt with within the industry of music that it takes away from the creation of music and it takes away from the fun of being creative. And so what happens is, yes, you want to be a part of a team and you want to grow with people and you want to take off with people, but you end up getting so jaded by all of these stupid experiences that now it's like, okay, I'm just going to learn how to do everything by myself so I never have to ask anybody for anything. And so nobody can ever taunt me. Nobody can ever tell me that I can't have something because I didn't do this for them or I didn't give in to certain pressures, you know? It's very frustrating. So what happens is we get so jaded, especially as a woman, because we get so mistreated and taken advantage of and coerced in the industry. What happens is we fall back and we become a one-woman show. And we don't seek community because the people in the community that we were seeking have let us down. They've abused us. They've done so many wrong things to us, right? So we just say like, we're better off alone. And it took me so many years to get past this to where I finally am at a point where it's like, okay, I'm not going to shy away from having community because I need people to speak life into me. I'm just going to do a better job of discerning who gets access to me and who does not. Who is pouring into me, who is encouraging me, who makes me feel bad, and who never really has anything nice to say or never shows any support. And I'm just going to get quicker at identifying, and I'm going to get quicker at assigning those people a place in my life. Do you get to stay or do you get to watch from outside the club, you know? So it's so important to have a community and to find a team. It can be frustrating to deal with certain people, but that's a part of opening up. That's a part of being vulnerable, sacrificing a little bit of that comfort in the pursuit of finding something greater. That's with success in the industry. That's with finding a team. That's with finding a husband, a spouse, you know? So I really, really resonate with this part. The next section is passion, and this excerpt comes from Jessica Mendoza. She is a softball player, television analyst, and a mother. This is from page 143. And this is kind of a long one, so let me read the whole thing. I was doing 3 games in a row. I had to travel to all of them, and I had a 3 or 4 month old at the time. He couldn't travel with me to those because it was just too much. So I had to tell my boss that I couldn't do all 3 games because I was still breastfeeding and we didn't have enough milk at home. His response was to bring up another female reporter, one who at the time he felt was the best at her job. And he said, "Do you know what makes her the best? She's a mom, but no one knows. She never talks about it." So what he was saying was, if this is what you want to do, this is what makes the best the best. Like basically just shut up about your mom problems. When I heard that, I thought, well then, I won't be the best. In that moment, I didn't think, oh shoot, I better stop telling people that I'm a mom. It hurt. But to be honest, I remember thinking that if I'm going to do this, I have to do it my way. And I'm never going to hide the fact that I'm a mom. Both of my boys have been everywhere with me. Love that. And then the next section that I highlighted, the best moments I've ever been in as an athlete were the ones that were scary, hard, and I didn't know the outcome. I knew I could totally screw up, but where else would I rather be? I have to remind myself of who I am. It's like being back in high school, a time when you're struggling to find your identity and confidence. I've had to retrain myself with that, to be honest, especially doing baseball. Do I deserve to be here? I didn't play Major League Baseball. Should I be in this seat? Am I good enough? I had to ask myself those questions because I do think those words of criticism from others hurt so much more when you believe there's even a little bit of truth. If you have doubts and then some egghead on Twitter is saying something and it affects you, then there's probably something inside of you that believes it too. So I've had to really search and ask, am I good enough to be here? I don't want to be here because I'm a woman and we're checking a box. I definitely want to be here because I'm good. And when I am able to shout the answer as yes, that's when I can be my best. I had to practice that. Practice believing in myself. It sounds silly to me to be 40 years old and telling myself to find that belief that I tell young girls to find, but I realized that I needed it. I had to really find out who I was. Once I did that, and I'm still constantly doing that, I try to pay attention to the things I do really well. Before, I was always finding the negative, but I switched the way that I did things, like bring it on, hate me, throw stuff at me. I've got a bat in my hand. I'll hit it. And I love Jessica Mendoza's section so much. I even highlighted her actual name because her whole section was just like, yes, oh my goodness. And as a woman in entertainment, we get this all the time. We're told that we do have to put off certain things. I've been told that I have to lie about my age because people need to believe that you're a certain age in the industry, because to be more youthful, to be younger is seen as better in the industry. To be single is seen as better. To be a non-child having person is seen as better. Like basically you don't want to be tied down. You want to be young and vibrant and you want to appear available all the time. And so if you're not appearing that way and you're not hiding like those aspects of your life, they try to make you feel like you're not going to make it if you don't fit into this mold, if you don't fit into this imagery, if you don't feed a certain perception. And so that first section, when she says, well, then I guess I just won't be the best. I've had that moment in my life where it's like, okay, maybe I don't need to be as famous as I used to dream of if this is the BS that I have to deal with in the industry. Maybe I don't need to be the next Beyonce, you know? Maybe I don't want to go through those things. And I'm fine with that. Like I really had to make peace with that. I'm going to do it my way. And then I had to have that mental reset of, well, am I good enough? You know, do I deserve to be here? Do I believe in myself? And it's taken some years to get to the point where I can confidently say yes. And now I don't really care what people think or what people have to say. Is it good with me? If it's good with me, then it's good enough. And I'm not judging myself for being the best based on anybody outside of me. I'm the best because I did better than who I was yesterday. I'm the best because I started here and now I'm here the following year. Like there's progress. And I take a lot of pride in being able to track that for myself and to be able to say confidently now, like I trust me and I believe in me. So her entire section, and this is the passion section, like it really lit a fire for me. And this is the last section that I did anything for. I didn't do anything for vulnerability. I didn't do anything for focus. I have one for humility. I don't have one for support. So this is going to be the last section that resonated with me. And this one comes from Katie Witham. She is a host and sideline reporter for Fox, ESPN, the Big Ten Network, the Cleveland Guardians, Charlotte FC, and the Columbus Crew. And this is coming from page 242 through 245. This one, we've got like 3 paragraphs to read. So, being a woman working in sports, sometimes you are the only woman that has a seat at the table. And I felt that I needed to prove why I deserved that seat. I put off becoming a mother because I had that seat. And then, after I had my first son, Owen, I went back to work when he was 4.5 weeks old. I was breastfeeding, pumping, traveling, working, trying to manage all of the things that you do as a working mom. And I think I felt even more of a need to prove that I could do it and do it well and be a mom, which led, I think, to some pretty crazy moments. I think becoming a mother has actually made me more confident. It's helped me find my voice more and made me more efficient because I have to be. I've learned more about what I need and what I want out of life. I'm type A. I like to be in control and do things my way. Then you become a mother and you realize you control nothing in life. I am humbled by these tiny humans every single day, and I'm humbled by motherhood. So this is humility, right? This first section that I read of hers is like, we're often told as women that we have to put off things. We have to prove so much more because people think we're not capable, or, you know, you sure you know what you're doing, sweetheart? I run into that, or I used to run into that all the time when I first started as an audio engineer. You know, it's a male dominated industry. And so when you have a client who walks in and they see a woman sitting behind the desk, they're a little fearful because they're used to seeing men sitting in that seat, right? And so they used to ask me, oh, you sure you know what you're doing, sweetheart? And for the first like 2-3 years of me engineering, it was always a shock to people, like, OMG, I've never had a female engineer before. And it used to really get under my skin because it's like, you know, I really hope I do know what I'm doing. Otherwise, we're not going to get very far in recording your song today, are we? Would the studio really pair you with somebody that didn't know how to work the gear? No, but you know, people have their fears or whatever. I really like this last piece about humility, about not being able to control everything, because I do think that I'm also a type A kind of person, and I like my stuff to be in a certain order. And I also happen to be an army brat. And so I'm used to things having an order and a structure and a hierarchy, right? And when things don't follow order, structure, and hierarchy, I get very irritated. And I've had to learn over the years to let go some of my control, and even on a spiritual level, lean into my faith more than my own abilities, and lean into God more than my own strengths, because I'm gonna fall short every time. And there are just some things, like even in a previous section, right? You can only prepare so much, you can only do so much, but at some point you have to let go of control and let the chips fall, let the cards fall where they may. So I've had a great journey over the past few months since reading this book of just learning to relinquish control, learning to have more faith. I've been growing my relationship with God and with someone very special. I don't know if I should say that, but yeah, it's been a great journey, and having the humility to understand I don't have it all together. There's no way I can control everything. And then there's a piece that comes with that too. Like, I did everything I could. I'm going to let God handle the rest. There is a crazy amount of peace that comes with that realization. And I do hope that for everyone else. I don't know if you're religious, if you're spiritual, but that's what's been happening for me, and it's been so beautiful. And so that's why this last section of the book on humility really resonates with me, especially now. It's like everything that I mentioned has just been validated over the past few months. Life has been happening and there have been some changes, but there's been a lot of growth on my end. And this book has been very inspirational. Even just going back and reading all of the highlighted sections I have, it's validating all of the positive changes I've been making, and validating you made the right choice in moving certain things, getting rid of certain things, dropping certain habits, certain characteristics, you know. So I'm very grateful for that. And I definitely relate to this book, even though I'm not yet a mother. I relate just as a woman, and I think that broadens the audience even more. So based on my review of this book, do you think that you would read this? Because I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend it for you to read. I really enjoyed reading this, and it reads kind of like a transcript, you know, like they had a conversation, they did an interview, and then it was transcribed. That's how this book reads. Very conversational, very natural, no crazy big words or descriptors, you know. So a very easy read, very enjoyable. And there are so many different women and different perspectives that you don't get bored. And the sections are kept fairly straightforward and short and to the point, so you feel like you're moving along it very well. So I would highly recommend this book, but let me know in the comment section, do you think this is a book that you would be interested in reading? Again, this is tough as a mother, women in sports, working moms, and the shared traits that empower us all. And the authors are Jenn, Hildreth, and Aimee Leone. Let me know if this is a book that you would consider and that you would read. I can leave the information in the description down below. Let me know what you liked about this video. Did any points stick out to you? Did any of the excerpts relate to you? Did it resonate with you? Let me know in the comment section down below. But make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time I post a new piece of content and another book review. Let me know what else I should be reading out there. But thank you so much for listening to my book review on Tough as a Mother. My name is LexC. Until next time, peace.
Why you garnish your road? Cause see the road without the fundamentals leads you to close. While you unpacking it, I'm dressed. Now I see you at shows. It seems easy, ain't it? You check the boxes, but the game be hella greasy, ain't it? Gotta earn your stripes, cause you the same color Yeezy, ain't it? Yeah, you in your zone right away, on your throne right away, and now you gone for brighter days. Damn.